Hey everyone, I have a very exciting show for you today. I have somebody that I know, trust, and respect who has tremendous experience and success in the Airbnb business. He's been doing it for quite a while. He's going to talk about the numbers to prove it. And then, as many of you've seen in the Airbnb business, it has changed. Are you in a beach town, a vacation town, and suddenly people are canceling? It's happening. So the reason I wanted to bring Kyle on today is because he is in that situation and he has taken the bull by the horn, changed his business short term, what he looks for, what he's doing, so he can survive long term. Don't sit in a shell. Don't whine. Do something. So let's welcome Kyle Stanley to the show. How you doing, Kyle?
As good as it can be, Michael. I mean, just like what you said, it's about adjusting, not going and curling up into a ball and going into hibernation. It's about adjusting. So I mean, just to set the scene here, adjustment is beyond business because before you and I jumped on this, I'm in a brand new house. If you would have told me on, March 21st that we were jumping onto a call 2 weeks ago, I would have been like, oh yeah, probably going to be because we're talking about my really cool house hacking strategy that allows me to live for free and not put any money down. And here I am today where it's like, holy cow, now I'm in it and have some expenses here. Plus with all the downtime, I decided I was going to foster a couple dogs. So there's all these dogs running around. I had to put them outside, and I'm up on a kitchen stool right now doing this interview with you instead of in the office, just because of all the craziness that's going on. So adjustment is the name of the game.
Yeah, exactly. There's a couple things I know for 100% certain. Is this thing that's going on in the economy is we're all gonna live through it. The question is, when we do get to the other side, because you will be alive, do you want to be smaller or bigger, right? Do you want to be punished by it, or do you want to thrive? So just for the audience to know, because Airbnb has been a great business for thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, why don't you just paint a vision of how profitable it was for you, say, the last 6 months of last year? Again, because it's been growing and you've been doing really well. It's been daily rentals. You're in Fresno, but just paint the vision of how good Airbnb has been for you. And then we'll get into the next segment.
Yeah, I mean, I'll kind of skip the story of how I got into Airbnb, but basically, I mean, December of 2019 was our best month to date, and we grossed over 15,500 with just 5.5 properties. We had added one in the middle of the month, so that's where the half comes from.
Sure.
Netted 7,500 of that.
Wow.
And had created this almost completely passive business where all I had to talk to was one person, which was my assistant. And I had taught her how to manage everything. I had taught her how to communicate with guests. I taught her how to schedule cleaning and everything. And so I literally got to this point where I was like, I have all this free time on my hands. And so let's go teach other people Airbnb. Because so many people were asking me on social media, how can you do this? How does this work? So that was like, I mean, shoot, January came and our education business took off. We started a mastermind. We added 4 properties between January and February. Fast forward to basically March 10th, we're on track March 10th to have a $25,000 gross month. And then March 12th hits, and March 12th was a really big day. I actually did a video about it on my channel, but March 12th, it was like, everyone in the world was freaking out except for me in the morning of March 12th in the Airbnb world, because they were getting cancellations left and right. And I was like, Fresno's a different story. We're going to be okay because, we're in need. We're not a want. And then I posted a live video in my Airbnb Facebook page called Airbnb Masterminds. And I basically was just like, yeah, guys, just weather the storm. I'm seeing a real balance here. I'm not seeing a ton of cancellations. And boom, like right as soon as I said that, it was God like saying, hey, get off your high horse. This is happening to you too. And that day we had 12 cancellations, a combination of March, April, and May, for about $3,000. It did get balanced out a little bit, but then 2 days later on March 14th, we had like $5,000 of cancellations with hardly any new bookings. And so I woke up on the morning of March 16th and I was just like, yeah, we're still getting some bookings. And just to give you an idea, like right now we're still at a gross month of $2,300 or $23,000. So it's great, right? But if there's a national shutdown, which there very likely could be, I don't want to be SOL and be like, wow, I should have gone month to month, long term, or midterm, I guess I'm calling them now. So I've just gotten in action in the last 72 hours with going month to month rentals to weather the storm, make a little bit of money. The business is still profitable. And then on the other end, basically turning these things back into Airbnb, which I think it's going to be very, very good on the other side.
Yeah. So let's just kind of summarize what I've taken for this, because again, um, I've been a senior leader in organizations that have been through many different events, and the people that look a challenge in the face or fear in the face or whatever it is, and make decisions that weeks ago you wouldn't have made are the people that survive, right? So what did you do, right? You have, let's just call it 10 properties. I think it's 11. Is it 11? Let's just say the real number. Is it 11?
11. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have 11 properties fully furnished. I've seen them. They are freaking gorgeous, right? Real money involved in keeping these furnished. And you've been running a very profitable and growing business. I'll say daily rentals, right? That's essentially what the business was until March 16th. You're looking at this going, ooh, I can try to limp through this and just keep my head in the sand. But what you did is you took the hard decision. You know what? I think the business could change. I see national risk. And yes, I do think there will be a national shutdown. I think it could come as soon as Sunday. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to go get monthly rentals. You probably thought, just the next 3 months. You've now probably changed that to 6 months, knowing you and how forward thinking you are. And you're like, I'm going to exist on the other side of this. Other Airbnb folks aren't going to adjust. They're going to be in, rough financial shape. And then you'll be able to scoop up the business on the other side of this. Is that kind of what the stance you've taken today?
Yeah. The only thing I'll change there is, I just believe in surrounding myself with people that know more than me. Just like a good president doesn't have to be the best president. They just have to have the best people around them.
Yep.
And so I have a few mentors, and one of them, said one day, he's like, if you are in the US, cause he's in Europe.
Okay.
And he's like, 14 days ago, if I could rewind the clock 14 days ago, I would have gone month to month rentals 14 days ago.
Wow.
Because right now we're in a national shutdown and I can't do jack shit. And so he's got 40 plus listings. Like this guy, and now luckily for him, he's managing most of them. Difference between managing versus owning, or what we call arbitraging, is he's not financially responsible. He's just in charge of helping the actual land owner or the landlord to make money, and he gets a profit. But either way, he's in a really rough situation. And so he said to me, if you're in the US, it's not like, let's see what happens. It's get month to month rentals in there right now before it's too late. And
awesome.
So that morning I took that advice seriously. We already had a couple that were month to month, semi month to month, I guess you could say, and locked them in. And now we're at about 7 to 8 of our 11 properties are month to month. So we still have a little bit of work to do.
Yeah. So again, let's remind folks what you did, right? You got coaching advice from others that have been through this, right? Getting it from Europe or Asia is just spectacular, right? Because they are weeks ahead of us. So that's like seeing the future, right? So that's pretty cool. But then you took action. You didn't just flip a month to month. I saw your post where you were reaching out to hospitals and other areas where you thought there might be increased demand. And it's that kind of forward thinking that allowed you to go from very few month to month to 7, and hopefully it gets you to 9 or 10 here in the next 48 hours. So what else can people do if they're across the country? Where else should they be looking for these month to month rentals?
Yeah, so far Craigslist has been our number one.
Okay.
Facebook Marketplace has been another great place. And then realtors. I got one month to month rental because I basically told all my realtor friends, hey, if you need anyone, or if anyone that needs some transitional living, I've got a place for them. Got a lead right away, locked them down.
Nice.
Mortgage lenders, I haven't got anything from them, but I'm reaching out to them. Yes, calling hospitals, calling all businesses that have actually had people in my Airbnbs before. That was a big one. Just telling them, hey, listen, here's what we're doing. Here's what we're going through. If you have any people that need to come and stay with us while you're sending some employees out here. And then the other thing was too, just reaching out to people that were already booked with us and confirming, are you still staying, or, hey, do you want to extend your trip? We have one, this is a really interesting situation. We have one that was in town to see their surrogate carrier from Israel. they're stuck. And so, I mean, I don't want to say lucky us, but it is really a win-win right now because they had nowhere to go. And so we're giving them reduced rent to stay there. Instead of cash flowing $2,000 a month at that property, we're cash flowing 1,000, which is still in the positive. But able to help them out, give them a little bit lower rent. And, a lot of problems would be solved if this rumor about, mortgage breaks is going to happen for investors too. I don't know that it is, but man, if that happens, I can give a lot of people some breaks on rent, reduce it a little bit, and be able to still have a cash flowing business. So that's either way, every minute it's changing. And so I'm just trying to innovate and reach out to as many people as possible.
Yeah. And again, it's about surrounding yourself, getting advice, but taking action. And what you've done better than anybody I've seen out there. Most people in the Airbnb business today are, God, I don't know if I want to say this, but I will, whining.
No, it's true.
So stop it. You're going to survive. You're going to live. Go ahead.
Let me tell you what they're mainly whining about. It's Airbnb put in a policy into place that if a guest is going to cancel, no matter if it's the day of, if it's coronavirus related, they're getting 100% money back guarantee. And I understand a host's frustration with that.
Yeah.
But like, guys, how is that a guest's fault? It's coronavirus related. Okay, if a guest knew 2 weeks ago and then they canceled the day of, now I'm mad. Yeah, I don't want to give you a refund on that. But that's why we're proactively reaching out to all the guests and asking them, are you going to cancel? And if you're not, then like, let's play it by ear. But either way, that's what most people are whining about right now. But I think it was a great decision because meanwhile, VRBO, Booking.com, all these places, they're not giving full refunds. And so when people are going to go and rebook with their travel, who are they going to go to? They're going to go to the one that took care of them the most, which was Airbnb.
Yeah. So I don't know if you watched this much, but obviously Airbnb was looking to go public this year, right? They were looking to have their liquidity event, all of that. No question that is, I'll just call it on shaky ground, right? Given what we have. Have you given him even a second thought to what Airbnb, the company, looks like 6 months down the line at all?
I have been so just knee deep in trying to figure out right now that I really haven't put a lot of thought into it.
That's okay.
There's a guy out there that has a YouTube channel called Airbnb Automated. He's got a lot of theories. He takes a lot of time to think about these things. He thinks that Airbnb, is basically like it's really going to depend upon what happens on the other end of this, what should end up being some sort of recession, whether like you talk about a lot, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever that looks like. I believe the industry, let's talk about the industry because that's what I do know. People are going to have to travel on the other side of this. And I think there's going to be a 60 to 90 day lag time where people are kind of like, all right, is it truly safe to go out there? Or, hey, I just lost a bunch of money. Now I need to get my job, get my feet back under me. Now let's go plan that trip. But the main things that were being canceled in Fresno were graduations, baseball tournaments, people coming in for work, all these things that were canceled. I just had a guy cancel last night who was a brand new football coach over at Fresno State. And he was like, yeah, this was supposed to be our 2 week, like kind of training camp deal. And, I booked for 2 weeks, but now I got to cancel because they just sent us home. Those things are going to have to be rescheduled in the majority. And then most people are going to be missing their families so much that they're going to kind of come in droves, and want to come see mom, dad, sister, brother, from Ohio, from Idaho, from Washington, from all these places. And so it's, to me, whatever we're lacking now is going to come back 2 to 3x whenever this is all over. So I think whether that means with Airbnb, if I got to adjust and do now Booking.com, VRBO, whatever that looks like, I just know that I'm going to adjust and figure it out, and be good on the other side.
I think that's actually very well said. I'll call it daily rentals or short-term rentals, that industry is not going away. Could the platform change? Yeah. I mean, I don't think any of us know, right? But there will be something that can be used. It will be there. And again, this is about surviving, right? I would tell you the next 6 months isn't about record months. It's, I'm going to survive and I'm going to be able to prosper on the other side. Would you say that's kind of your mindset?
Yeah. I mean, on my podcast, everything I'm saying, it literally, as I'm logging off now, is survive and thrive. So, I mean, that's
Survive and
really,
thrive. Yep.
yeah, that's literally like the mindset right now. And just a shameless plug here. We are going to start
Yes.
doing it. I want to have you on it too. Just during all the madness of all this, we're pushing fearless flipping to the side and renaming a side segment called Conquer Corona.
There you go.
And it's just, yeah, 5 to 10 minute Monday through Friday, little interviews like this, where what are you doing in your business to survive and thrive? So if you want to check that out, it's still under the fearless flipping name. We're just calling it Conquer Corona. So either
Very
way,
cool.
I guess, yes. And here's the thing, like I've got a mastermind of people. They're brand new to Airbnb. A lot of them are freaking out.
Mhm.
I think the true way to be looking at this right now is that there's opportunity in the future, but there's opportunity right now. I have a student right now that was like, so great story here. Our first mastermind student, like I said, we just started this in early February. Our first mastermind student got their first deal. They're thrilled. 2 days later, March 12th happens. They see me post a little something in the group chat, and they text me right away. They said, it looks like I just need to bail out of this deal. It's like, no, don't bail out of the deal. If you can get in with a landlord right now, landlords are more desperate to fill their vacancies right now than ever. Like a landlord that might be wanting to charge you $1,300 a rent right now is willing to maybe bring that down to $1,100. As long as you can fill in that month to month and survive, you've got a deal that on the other side is going to now start cash flowing like crazy. Whereas if you pass up this deal, I know what's going to happen. You're going to lose the drive to do this. You're going to lose the momentum. And then 6 months later, when Airbnb is profitable, you're going to be like, but what if another coronavirus thing happens?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
So that's the thing, is anyone who currently has a business knows that this is going to be better on the other side. But anyone that doesn't and is looking at it, I really, truly believe that if you talk to landlords right now and help them win, and make it a win-win on both sides, you could be very, very set up for a lot of success on the other side of this.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Kyle, do me a favor. How can people follow you, get a part of your mastermind, your Facebook group, all these different ways? You're helping so many people. They need to check you out.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the free Facebook group is just called Airbnb Masterminds. Very simple. There's not too many Airbnb groups out there. You'll find us. Then basically Fearless Flipping 316 is our Instagram handle, and you can find all of our information at fearlessflipping.com. If you even want to jump on a call with me, fearlessflipping.com, you'll be able to contact me and book a 15-minute call.
Kyle, this has exceeded my expectations, just like you do every time. Folks, Airbnb Business is going to exist on the other side. You need to take action today. Don't put your head in the ground. Find a way to get through it. Go for break even, and let's get to the other side together. Thank you very much for your time this morning, Kyle.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, buddy.